Indians, Aztec Indians, Hispanics, we was all Egyptians at one point. They mixed the race. Egyptians in Ohio, artifacts found, okay? Glyphs of the seated figure wearing the feather headdress, apparently intended as the Indian version of determining royalty to intent to manufacture, clearly suggests Egyptian contact with Indians. Egyptian glyphs in Ohio. All right, now look, this is Memphis and Kush. Kush is really Mexico, y'all. They changed the name to Nubia. Kush is Egyptian origin. Now, in the 2000s to 250 AD, that's when the Mayans was rolling around, right? This was around the same time of the stuff with the Bible, okay? King T, and Moses and all that stuff, okay? So look, the Egyptian dynasty of the Greek colonization of Magna Graecia. Ooh, Magna Graecia. This is where the Hispanic names come from, okay? It said, preceding the peak of Magna Graecia development, which began in the 18th century, the Egyptian dynasty were at a time political fragment in Egypt, while Magna Graecia was a period of significant Greek expansion and civilization in southern Italy. Okay, Memphis at the end of the Old Kingdom, a beginning of the first intermediate period. Okay, Helicopters Magna represents the continuation of the first intermediate period. This when they was coming in, mixing the races. The Aztecs was called the Mixtecs first, y'all. They was called the Mixtecs because they were mixing the races. The Romans been there. So look, it's a mixed woman, black and white. If they spoke Hispanic, you wouldn't know the difference. They were mixing the races, mixing Egyptian, calling them Hispanics, New Mexico, new mix what? Ecosystem, shipping them down, taking them down to Mexico and starting their own race, and then call it Hispanics, calling them Mayans. And even the Mayans, there was Maya Indians. You see what I'm saying? So look, they black and white. If they spoke Spanish, you wouldn't know no difference. Hispanics were Egyptian. We were Egyptians, and they mixed the race and made Hispanics. That's why they doing all this now. Poppy. The poppy are us. Egyptian origin, okay? It was a Egyptian origin, Papyrus plant that grew in the Nile Delta. And it comes from the Greek word plant papyrus. Okay? And so it was a scroll, the first newspaper called it Papyrus in the Nile Valley Delta where it grew. You know, they needed seeds to grow the Papyrus plant. Seeds. They was creating a new seed. So Hispanics, the word poppy is Egyptian origin. That's y'all waking up, calling yourself poppy. Poppy are us, Egyptians. They mixed the race, y'all. They mixed it, okay? And Hernando Cortez came back and tried to finish what they started. Now, the Poppy are us, you come from King Titi. He was the first one that used the Poppy are us, right? That was using scrolls as newspapers. Now, this is sons of Grecia's military expansion into Nubia, Kush. They pursued the expansion of the kingdom into Nubia, which is Kush. I showed y'all that before. Their name was Pepi. Pepi is one of the oldest Spanish words. Or they call him Pepi, or sometimes they call him Poppy. Look, Poppy, Pepi. These were the sons of Egyptian pharaohs. This is where your Spanish name come from. Now, you wonder why black people, we always said stuff like, had names like Cortez, stuff like that. But this the tallest Nike statue is in New Mexico. The biggest Nike plant is in what? Memphis. King of Memphis Pyramid, Aztec Pyramid. See the same? See the same? Okay, Memphis was founded in 1819. New Mexico was founded in 1821, 3 years later. Tenochtitlan. See that? Tenochtitlan. They called it Tenochtitlan, Mexico City when they found it. Okay? Then they started calling it El Cairo, Egypto. Okay? El Cairo, Egypto. You know what Cairo mean it used to be a Memphis. So black people got names like Carlos, Pancho, Cortez. We didn't even know Hispanics back then. Ooh, El Cairo.